welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and I help people find their center. In this video, I'm going to share the connection between LGBTQ people and people with autism and ADHD and ADD that you never knew existed. And I am a member of both of these tribes. I am a member of both of these starseed groups. Both of these groups are starseed and lightworkers, here to anchor in a specific frequency. And each has a little bit of a different mission, but they have a similarity. And I can attest to this because I am a trans man and I am on the ADHD and autism spectrum. And I've have a lot of experience. I've worked with these beautiful starseeds of people with special abilities for over 15-20 years at this point, plus my own experience, and as well as being a rainbow light worker in the trans spectrum. So the point of being transgender for me, the point of being somebody with autism and ADHD is this, is I came here to help raise the vibration on the planet. Myself and other starseeds like me, people who are different, people who don't fit in to the stereotypical box, we don't fit into that. People with autism, people with special needs, and people who are on the rainbow frequency of LGBT, and including my wife, my starseed partner, my twin flame, and our children, both of whom, one of them is transgender and the other one is autistic. And they are both super gifted kids, and I learned a lot from working and being connected to them, as well as other starseeds. And the point of these groups is to teach. The point of these groups is that they came from higher dimensional planes and descended down into this physical earth matrix. Now, in the 1940s and 1950s, according to Dolores Cannon, and materials like the Law of One came out and explained some of what went on. In the 1940s, when the atomic bomb was going to go off, it was going to shift Earth beyond anything else. It was going to shift not just Earth, but impact other star systems. Similar to what happened on Maldek. It's a planet that exploded and Atlantis went along with it. And anyway, the call was put out in the 1940s when the atomic bomb was going to go off for us to shift away from that. And it was something that was going to impact us so deep that it did impact us so deep that Earth put out a call for help. And our parents, our grandparents, and maybe even great-grandparents heard this. If you're, the generation from the 40s, 50s, 60s, came in, heard the call, decided to join in and become a volunteer, because that's what starseeds are, as volunteers, light workers, came down into the matrix to clear a path for indigos, for crystals, and for rainbow workers, for rainbow vibrational beings to be born. But first, the path had to be cleared, and Dolores Cannon talks about that. She's got a special on Gaia TV, where she talks about the splitting of New Earth, which is what's going on right now on the planet. We're shifting from a third density, third dimension, to fourth dimension. We're shifting from the solar plexus, which is 3D, about willpower, about self, about ego, to fourth density, fourth dimension, which is heart chakra based. It's the element and the aspect of divine feminine. It's also the aspect of your divinity. It's literally the center of your consciousness is in your heart chakra. Anyway, so I don't know if you've noticed, but we've had a lot more spike in people that are coming out as transgender, bisexual, gay, lesbian, queer, even non-binary is kind of a relatively new term, and it used to be called androgynous. And also, we've had a spike recently in hearing about the number of cases in autism. And most people think that these two groups are limited. Most people try to project their limitations from the past collective onto these groups to try to box them in and limit them. However, as being a member of these two communities, they have a lot of overlap. Most people look for differences. I look for similarities, and some of the similarities are that these beings are lightworkers and starseeds descended down from the higher realms into the physical, and they know that they have incarnations on other planets. Arcturus, Pleiades, Vega, Lyria, Lyra, as you say, Blu-ray is another one. And these are all just terms, but we know that we have connections to other than this 3D dimensional plane. And what these two groups have in common is they were born into the system to create flexibility. The system of Earth, the system of the Matrix has been too inflexible for a long time. And these beings came here with the purpose to teach compassion, to teach open-mindedness, awareness, albeit in different ways. And I learned a lot from working with, like I said, my two sons, other beings with autism, other beings with even Down syndrome. You know, it's taught me to have more compassion. They're not just students, they're also teachers. They've taught me a lot. And when I get off and push my ego out of the way and I listen to some of these messages, even though I've worked with people who are nonverbal, and they have a lot to say. But they came here to help push the collective ego aside, because we've been stuck in this belief system of gender for too long. We've been stuck in these boxes for too long, and people with autism, people with special needs, people who are transgender, especially the younger generations, non-binary, are not conforming. They came to create flexibility in an otherwise rigid system, but the only way to do that is to be born literally into the system, to transmute it and change it and shift it from the inside out. And that's how we can impact Earth the most, is not looking out there, but looking within. You are your own guru. You are your own teacher. You are your own healer. I'm just a guide here on the journey that your higher self clicked on this video, was drawn to this kind of information to point the way within, to point the way in here, point the way back to you, and to say that we are not Borg. Technology has a purpose. I'm grateful that it's connecting me to my Starseed family, and it also has a limitation as well of, we're not Borg. We're also heart-centered beings. We have feelings. We feel deeply. We feel compassion. But I'm going to talk about that in another video. So the number one thing that these groups of starseeds and lightworkers have in common is to teach about compassion and to raise the vibrational frequency on the planet. That's why a lot of people have trouble, relating to people with autism, or try to control people with autism, is because they have a ton of energy and information that they channel from higher dimensions, and sometimes it's so limiting to be in this physical vessel, and it's hard to ground the energy. And that's one of the main challenges of autism and ADHD, ADD, and things like that, even bipolar, anxiety. These are all special beings that came here to anchor in the cosmic frequency from the planets of Pleiades, Arcturus, onto Earth like a bridge. They are beings that came here as literally a bridge between worlds, a bridge between their star system and this Earth, to help raise Earth's frequency up, because she put out the call. Our ancestors cleared the way for us and the younger generations to come in relatively unhinged, to pierce the veil, wake up from the inside out, and to help others reawaken. That's what the Great Awakening of 2020 is all about, is awakening from the sleep, the cosmic illusion, the Maya, the sleep that we've all been under in this Earth, and to wake up. And Earth is waking up, we're waking up again. So light workers, rainbow light workers, LGBTQ, non-binary individuals, even allies of these groups are starseeds and light workers connected to these groups to learn. Here to learn and shift the frequency on the planet, to teach compassion, because that's the real way. The true way is love, light, joy, peace. Telepathy. I combined the words to telepathy, meaning telepathy, with empathy, meaning we can literally project our feelings onto another person, and by projecting out wellness to another, you get that back yourself. And that's what Earth needs more of, is the Rainbow Light Workers, these groups, and listen to them and stop trying to put these people in a box. Stop trying to limit them because you don't understand, because it goes against the belief system of two genders. It goes against the belief system of normal. Normal is boring. Muggles, I have a hard time, quote unquote, around muggles, but I realize that's also a limiting belief, is that everyone else is me, and people awaken in their own time. People awaken in their own, at their own level. And it's like a video game where there's different levels, or school where there's different grades, or different belt levels in martial arts. Everybody's at their own pace. Everybody's at their own speed, and there is no race and there is no rush. However, if you're somebody with autism, a Rainbow Light Worker, you most likely went through a painful past and huge traumas to wake up first, and to help embody and embrace the rainbow frequency, to embrace the pearl ocean and anchor in these higher consciousness, this higher thing of unity, which is 4D and 5D and above, and that we are all one. So I hope you like this video. Again, Starseeds, light workers, people with autism, people with rainbow light energy, you're here for a great purpose. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful to you. You're my soul tribe. You're my family. Peace and unity.